Hi, thank you for joining me for another Minecraft education lesson. Today we are looking at simple bar graphs. This is fantastic for younger grades as well as special education. It's good practice and you can make this as complicated or simple as possible. So what I did, I created a bar graph over here from 1 through 6. And then down here, you can see that I placed trophy heads for the students to count. The wall behind me, I randomly put the trophy heads for the students to count. Once they count them, they are going to mark how many of each one is on the bar graph. Over here I have my direction board, which says look at the wall to your right and count how many of each item you see. Use the purple blocks on your left to build a bar graph on the wall behind you. One item equals one purple block. Stack the blocks from the bottom up to show the correct total for each item. When your graph is finished, talk to Ivy to answer some questions about your graph or your bar graph. So here are the purple blocks, and they are all in this chest here. So the students will grab a stack of purple, and they are going to count 2 piglet heads, 2 skeleton heads, 6 skeleton heads. Now the students will probably not be able to count as fast as I'm doing, especially if you're working with younger ears. And you can make this again. More heads, more items, whichever is easiest for you. Let's see, zombie heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Steve's heads, 3. Whoops. So now we have the simple bar graph they created. You could ask them to take a picture, a screenshot. If they're doing this solo, they could export the world, you could import the world, whichever is easiest. If you're hosting this in small groups, you may want to build this again over here, redo the head design over here. That way you can have 2 groups going, and if you're going to have maybe 3, you could do another one over here. And once they're done with the graph, they're going to talk to Ivy. She's going to tell them the graph looks amazing. Are you ready to answer some questions? And here's the survey. When they click this, it's going to take them to a 3-question quiz. And the questions, I believe, one is, what 2 items have the same amount? Which item had the most amount? And what was the difference between the least and the most? So that gives them a few questions to not only make for sure they have the correct graph filled in, but to do a few little math questions. Now, let me break down how I built this. I did not do border blocks this time. Normally I do. I just did not do this time, and I probably will go back and do it. But there is always a time and place for border blocks. Now, if you decide that you want the graph to be more colorful than just all purple, you could easily set it up like this, a post for each trophy head, and say which block represents it. That way, if they're counting skeletal heads and they're using blue, they could come over here and do blue, and then red and purple, if you want it to be colorful. It's a little easier for students to just grab one stack. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. I'm really bad about breaking my stuff. And then you could do that for each one. I may do that eventually if I'm making more complicated graphs, but for the simple one, this works fantastic. And like I said, if you're making multiple groups, make another one over here, make another one over here, and then you can have up to 3 groups all working, and they can all pull out of the same chest. Now, to make the graph, first thing I do is I always do deny blocks. Reason why? Because this keeps students from breaking my stuff. The only place I delete the blocks is directly in front of the items I want them to build on. So I want them to be able to add items to the front of this graph. So I need to take out the deny blocks directly in front of these guys. As you can see, I already have. And what that does is it allows me to be able to put blocks here. So let me just grab this yellow one real quick. I cannot put, oops, I am in world builder mode, I just realized that. I cannot put blocks here, cannot put blocks here. I can only put blocks directly in front of this guy. I can only put blocks directly in front of this guy. And again, that's because I deleted the deny blocks directly in front of the graph. Not below it, but directly in front of it. Because if you delete this one, they can then break all of this in this row. So just the one directly in front. And that way the students can add their items. Now the frame is made out of black concrete. The green part is just lime concrete. This is made out of block of quartz. The reason why I like that is because you can see the grid and it's pretty dominant. Now you don't need to put color in between the trophy heads, but if you do, just pick a color. And again, this is concrete. And you can find your different colors of concrete by going here, scroll down till you see concrete, open it up, and you can see all your colors. In fact, the purple concrete is what I have them using for the bar graph. This over here is just, again, built out of block of quartz. And then these trophy heads you can find, oops, hit E, go under the little bed icon, scroll down till you see the creeper head, it says mob skulls. Open this up and now you can see each of them. And that is what I'm using. But feel free to use whatever items you want because most of them do attach to the wall. You may even ask them just count something in a specific area. Maybe you're putting out so many flowers, so many trees, different types. This, again, is for lower grades in special education. So I'm simplifying it to where it's here. They're testing counting skills, graphing skills, and a few math skills. But that is pretty much the sum of it, and that's how easy it can be. Another thing you could do is maybe you want them to use the actual trophy head to count the graph. So let's say you wanted them to do that instead. And you could do chests full of them. So they could do all the creepers. And again, you would put these in a chest, not just have them get it out of their inventory or search for that. But you could also do a visual representation like this. I wanted to represent more of an actual looking bar graph, and I feel like the concrete blocks, because they don't show the lines, make a nice, beautiful graph. But again, you find out which way works best for your students. And yes, because the students can add, while they can't break, they can add something deleted if they mess up. But this is just a simple way students can do graph work, practice with it. Make it as complicated as you want, make it as simple as you want. But I absolutely love this quick little easy bar graph activity. And as always, thank y'all for watching. Highly appreciate it. Have a fantastic day.